I wrote down some words from yesterday, and I'm going to read them as well. I'm just going to read them. Frailty of ego comes from a lack of conviction in its own truth, a smallness of belief in its own existence. The ego is the drapery of the spirit. It is a garment, and like any garment, it is decorative, yes. It holds symbolic meaning and speaks a story through its visual representation, but it is also practical. It protects against exposure, and it is adjusted responsively to the elemental conditions around it. If identity is conceived of as a fixed thing, it is inherently restrictive and oppressive to the spirit. A healthy and balanced ego should be fluid and changing always in accordance with what is appropriate to its surroundings and the moment, because the sense of identity comes from that which wears the ego, not the ego itself. It is good to have a strong ego, and strength comes from mobility. Fragility comes from rigidity and a lack of soil beneath the feet. Then I had a dream last night, and the main, well, there's a couple things that are relevant. I'll just say the dream. I'm in a backstage type area. It's really a long hallway, lit with warm lighting. And I'm there with a childhood friend of mine and my younger sister. There's a play being put on, and the play is where we can hear people speaking, calling it A Midsummer's Night Dream. Midsummer Night's Dream. We walk out a door into the outdoor area where the play is happening. It's nighttime and it is a forested place, and there are a lot of very large old growth trees. The play is taking place among these trees at their roots, at their bases. We sit and watch, and it's being put on by these small beings who they have brown leathery skin. They're very short and squat, wide mouths, and they're almost a little bit puppetish seeming, but they're not puppets. They're beings. They're there. And I recognize them as being tree spirits of these trees. But I've had other dreams where I've interacted with tree and animal spirits, but they were different. They were always naked, and these ones were clothed. They were wearing these little robes. I did my best to try drawing one. You can see that. So they're speaking the words, telling the story. We sit watching for a while, and then my friend says that we should go back inside and get some champagne because we need to celebrate. And so we get up and we start walking back, and we pass the woman who is the play director, and we hear her saying it's been such a great success and it will just continuously keep running till the end of time. We get into the indoor area, and the mother of this friend is there, and this mother in waking life she is almost a cartoonish representation of the devouring mother archetype. She's not somebody that I would allow in my field personally. And I see her, and I'm immediately on alert. Like there's a boundary energetically that gets placed between us right away. I'm not engaging with her, but there's something she seems quite subdued. She actually, the devouring quality isn't so present as it usually is. She seems gentler somehow. She's not really saying much. She's not really doing much. She's just there. So that was interesting. Then there's a long table. And there's a woman behind it who is giving out tattoos. Well, not giving them out. She's doing them actually very specifically for money. And I go up and ask for a tattoo, and there's a kind of emphasis on me not even asking what the cost is. It doesn't matter. And she, before I can tell her what I want for a tattoo, she says, champagne. You want a bottle of champagne on? And I show her my forearm where I want the tattoo. She says, you want a bottle of champagne right there? And I said, yes, how did you know? She says, it's a celebration. And then she starts freehand drawing on my arm. But instead of drawing a champagne bottle, she ends up drawing an instrument that it looks like it has the headstock of a guitar with the tuning pegs, but no neck, really. It's just a body with strings. And she calls it a belly harp. And then that was pretty much it. I woke up. Now, what does that have to do with egos? It doesn't really. Okay. Okay, just move on. Just move on. The point was just to say it. To just say the words. So today, I was drawing some cards in the morning. And I have them laid out here still so that I can look at them. we started with the tarot, and we have Eight of Pentacles, King of Wands, Seven of Cups. And they came out with turtle, bear, and butterfly. And there was a message about elder trees. In an old growth forest, trees create their own atmosphere. In any forest, trees create the atmosphere. But in an old growth forest, trees actually will generate clouds. And this is the earth breathing, but it is also the earth dreaming. The element of water carries imagination. There's a lack of elder trees in the world right now. Well, lack isn't the right word. The ratio of elder to juvenile trees is out of balance. And that is true ecologically in a very tangible way, and it is significantly impacting the global atmosphere. This is also true if you slide everything sideways into the spiritual realm, because they are continually reflecting each other. They are intrinsically connected. The spiritual realm exists parallel, and it operates by the same ecological rules. So when you look at humanity, in the spiritual realm, the ratio of elder to juvenile incarnated souls I've been having, that word hasn't quite been feeling right to me lately, but I'm going to continue to use it because I don't have a better one right now. That ratio is out of balance. It is especially out of balance I'm seeing a tiered canopy. It's really focusing on the canopy of I'm seeing it as like a rainforest, a jungle, cloud forest. Okay. But I'm looking at a canopy as though there's like from a drone, and it's tiered like stairs. A lot of the speaking spiritually rather than physically, I guess. The largest proportion of elder souls is actually very young right now, physically speaking. Is that right? Yes. They haven't grown up yet, in the sense of being it is difficult for the elder soul to reach maturity. Difficult isn't the right word. It takes it is the difference between a slow growing tree and a fast growing tree. I feel that I'm losing the thread, and I'm hearing people moving around, and it's distracting me. I'm having a hard time focusing. I'm having a hard time staying connected to the stream, so I'm going to end this, I think, and do a second part, because there is more.